Welcome to Classic Game Room from 1998 on the PlayStation. It's Spyro the Dragon, everyone's favorite little purple dragon named Spyro. Don't you dare call him a Skylander. This is Spyro the Dragon from Insomniac Games and Sony for the venerable PS1. A brilliant game that is a terrific, fabulous example of a universally enjoyable video game that can be played by kids and adults alike. It's charming, likable, playable, challenging, but not so challenging that it becomes frustrating. And it features Spyro the Dragon, a childlike purple dragon saving other dragons from the clutches of evil.
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown. You can get to almost anywhere from here. If I were you, I'd use that whirlwind.
Spyro is one of these early games that set the template for modern kids' games. There's a lot of exploring with cartoon-like enemy encounters and collecting treasure. But unlike modern games, it doesn't just focus on collecting. The strength of Spyro the Dragon is its gameplay, which is really good, especially considering that they managed to make this one play on the original PlayStation controller without dual analog thumbsticks. It's an open-world, 3D-style adventure game, but instead of just rotating the camera around Spyro with the right thumbstick, you have to hold down the triangle button and focus it on where you're going to be jumping or charging. And that makes scenes like this one fairly challenging, and there's like this gruesome Spyro drowning scene if you miss and fall into whatever horrible liquid that is. Spyro the Dragon is a lighthearted, fun game, but it's not stupid, showing that you can separate those two things. Look, I made a horrible mistake and drowned in the blueberry gumdrop acid or whatever that is. Instead of just automatically regenerating, I lose a life. And while it's fairly easy to get extra lives back by defeating enemies and collecting those purple orb things, it's still a bit of a slap on the wrist, more than a lot of kids' games give you these days. Oh look, we put some crappy license over a game with exploring and collecting. Have fun. Spyro is better than that. A lot better than that, actually. Spyro the Dragon is a tricky game. You've got to defeat these enemies and then get up in the air before they electrocute you or before some other enemy comes and tries to freeze you or something. And it looks really good on the PlayStation. I never played this one when it was new, but I heard all about it. Spyro the Dragon is, or at least was, extremely popular, spawning numerous sequels on the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, and later for a new generation of players, was incorporated into the Skylanders for Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and then demoted for Skylanders Giants Universe and the rest of them. I like Skylanders because of the collecting and cross-platform compatibility, but this is objectively a much better game. There's no question, if you enjoy adventure games, you should check out Spyro the Dragon. I can't speak for all of the sequels because I haven't played them yet. I figured I would start the series at the beginning. And I dig it. It's a lot of fun. You can download this from the PlayStation Network for your PS3 or find a used copy out there fairly easily, and that rhymes inadvertently. You see? Spyro can be enjoyed by anyone who likes to play fun adventure games with a likable character. The controls are tricky, which makes the gameplay that much more challenging, and it's a lot of fun. Free the Dragon's Worlds from Gnasty Gnork, who reminds me of Gary Gnu. In name only.
Good job, Spyro. One day you'll be able to tell all the dragons about your amazing adventures.
Sure, but what I'd really like to do is get out of this swamp.
One dragon's swamp is another dragon's palace. Spyro, you have a lot to learn. After you save the dragons, you open up save points, so it's fairly easy to save your game, which is good because you can actually lose Spyro the Dragon. Shield your children's eyes. You don't win at everything, which is why I think it should be mandatory for all kids to play Robotron and Defender at an early age. Spyro the Dragon is well made, it's got a great fantasy feel to it, it's challenging, and you won't really win the game until you defeat it and then go back and collect everything. So there's a lot to keep you busy and a lot to love about Spyro the Dragon. Great value these days, but also just a great game. The first of many, Spyro the Dragon.
Is that you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about?
Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. You have no idea how long I've been trapped in crystal. And, neither do I. Who are you again?
I'm out of here.